Returns to historic Unadilla in upstate New York for round number 7. Unadilla's prestige as one of the most famous tracks in motocross history has been enhanced over the years with worldwide competition. Today, history could be made by Ricky Carmichael. RC will try to climb to the top of the all-time victory list by winning his 38th national motocross event. Ricky attempts to surpass one of motocross's greatest legends, Bob Hanna. Mr. Excitement, Travis Pastrana, is well on his way to... At the halfway point of the 125 season, Travis Pastrana leads the field by 44 points, but it's been anything but easy for the defending champion. We've had 4 different winners in the 125 scene in 6 races, and 7 riders have hit the podium. The American motocross debut of last year's 125 GP World Champion Grant Langston has given the class an exciting new look. The South African backed up his credentials, becoming the first 125 rider in the sport's history to win his very first American Pro Motocross. In fact, he won the first 2 overalls, sweeping all 4 motos. Pastrana broke the spell in round 3, sweeping Mount Morris, but this time the challenge came from an unexpected source, from under his own Suzuki tent. Akira Narita, on a hiatus from the Japanese Nationals, got great starts, led both motos, and shocked even Pastrana by giving him some sustained pressure and great racing. Langston suffered a 3rd-degree shoulder separation the day before Southwick, but as incredible as it sounds, he mounted the bike, posting a 6th place. Pastrana would win his 2nd in a row, taking over the points lead, but a new challenger was showing his stuff. Mike Brown, returning from 2 GP campaigns, put it all together at Budds Creek, scoring his very first American sweep. Then at the last race, another veteran, Larry Ward, would ride the YZ254 4-stroke to its very first 125 motocross victory. It was Ward's first motocross win since 1992. Here at Unadilla, we're about ready to see who will be the next to challenge the champion. Hello, everyone. Art Ekman along with David Bailey and Davey Coombs from one of the most historic motocross tracks in the world, Unadilla Valley Sports Park in New Berlin, New York. The rolling hills, known for its dark soil and rocky conditions, is in very, very good shape. With the weather at 85 degrees, humidity pretty high, 88% for these riders. The 125 riders are joining at the gate right now. Here's Mike Brown. He's hoping to get back on track. He's got a win this year, 3 second places, but mistakes, flat tires, and the likes put him 39 points behind the leader. He's hoping to get back on track. Let's go to Davey Coombs in the pit area.
Joining us for this week's Kawasaki bike setup is Dave Matheson. He works on the Split Bar Pro Circuit team for Bobby Bonds. Maddox, what do you have going?
This week, the only major changes we've made, we run hand guards because of all the rocks out there, and we also run a solid front number plate, not a vented one like we normally do. There's a few really big downhill jumps this weekend, so we've stiffened up the forks a little bit. And apart from that, the bike setup's pretty much the same as it normally is.
How about the gearing? Any changes there?
We actually went 1 tooth bigger on the rear sprocket this week. That's not really to do with the track. That's more Bobby.
Well, we'll see how Bobby does in his first visit to Unadilla. That's this week's Kawasaki bike setup.
Suzuki's Travis Pastrana comes into this race with a 44-point lead on Grant Langston. Langston still only about 75% after that separated shoulder. Ernesto Fonseca, Danny Smith, Kelly Smith, they're all trying to climb up the ranks as we take a look at the Suzuki starting grid. Pastrana, Langston, Mike Brown has had some wonderful moments this year. So has Larry Ward. Brock Sellers has improved steadily, as has Ernesto Fonseca. Greg Schnell got a hole shot in the first moto at Redbud, took 3rd and then a 4th overall. His best performance of the year. Steve Lamson, 21, 125 wins and 2 championships. Still trying to get back up to that championship form. And number 30 in our starting grid, Shea Bentley is back. He broke his wrist at Phoenix Supercross in January, then broke a collarbone a few months later, but he's back in action right now as we're set to go for the first Moto 125s. Unadilla is underway. You can see the rock roost of Mike Brown's bike. Ernesto Fonseca, the hole shot. Ward, Langston, Pastrana with good starts, and right there in the first turn, it looks like Riddle, Scott Sheik, and Bobby Bonds. Sheik on the Honda, Bonds on the Kawasaki, remounting. Out in front, Larry Ward has taken over, number 10. His win at Redbud was the first for the YZ250F and the Moto XXX team. He's got a battle on his hands right now. Ernesto Fonseca on the Yamaha 4-stroke. Number 25 is giving him all the pressure that Larry Ward wants.
I can just hear it now. All the people talking about the advantage the four-strokes have, and they've got proof right here. This fast Unadilla track, that loamy soil soaks up the horsepower. These guys got a little bit more of it than everyone else in the field, and they're proving it right now up front, 1 and 2.
And Larry Ward's got the experience on this track, David Bailey.
Well, he probably has about 100 more laps than Fonseca has throughout his career on this racetrack, and Larry's already hard to pass, but he knows this track well. It'll make it even tougher.
Red Buddy not only got the purse money for the win, but he also collected an extra 1,000, becoming the top privateer from USTC. Ward starting to pull away now from the second place pack. Ernesto Fonseca still trying to hold it down as we check out Larry Ward. Here he is, and he's getting all kinds of competition. Pastrana and Langston par to par right behind Sellards and Fonseca. Whoa, that's quite a pack.
And Ernesto can feel that heat right now. Sellards gets by. Ernesto's just trying to get comfortable in this opening lap, and these guys are breathing down his neck. Look at the air time there. Ward clearing that plateau. Still pulling away a little bit. He's got a cushion over this group.
Sellards, Fonseca. There goes Pastrana to the inside of Fonseca. Langston is just hanging back.
Pastrana sliding to the inside of Fonseca right there. So good under braking.
Ooh. Pastrana fishtailing there, taking on Brock Sellards. Sellards looks over to him as they come over the hill. Pastrana very aggressive in this race here at Unadilla. Great racing in our first 125 Moto. Pastrana, can he beat Sellards into second place? Larry Ward's not that far away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Unadilla 125 action. Larry Ward, the winner of the last race here in the 125s, is getting all kinds of pressure from the defending champion, Travis Pastrana. Ward trying to hold his own, but Pastrana is looking fast.
In the last round at Redbud, it looked like Larry Ward was a little bit faster of the two, but now Pastrana's the one applying the pressure. Looks like he's got a little bit better lines out there than Larry. They should pay off. Watch him right here, the way he cuts back to the inside like that. He's the only guy doing that and able to stay full throttle.
Travis has got that courage to try any line to get out around a rider. Whoa, Ward helped him out a little bit. Ward slipped, and Pastrana is our new leader.
Well, that was perfect timing there by Pastrana coming down the hill on the outside of his mechanic. Good move. The funny thing about it is the mechanics have no idea. They can't even see that section of the hill. They're just going to assume it was a good move, and it was. Travis planned it perfect. Larry Ward made a little mistake and helped him out. You're right, Art. It doesn't look like he's willing to let him off the hook here.
I bet they had a spotter out there on the microphone, though.
This guy's got radios everywhere. You can't do anything and keep it a secret now.
Roger DeCosta and I were talking about that before the race, and he said in his day, man, you could get away with a lot on the backside, but now you got television cameras all over the place. Here's Brock Sellards as Langston is just past Brock into third place.
It looks like this could be another Langston-Pastrana showdown, and taking a look at this Unadilla track, Davey Coombs had the privilege of being one of the first riders out there. Davey?
Well, this is what it is. Every motocross racer's dream come true. A chance to be the first rider out on Unadilla before they start tearing it up. The only reason they're able to do this is I go through the first turn because the Robinson family took the time to go and build another track. Brought Unadilla back to the way it used to be way back in the day. They had GPs that's grass covered just like this. They can't do it now because they get thousands of amateurs here. Right now, it looks like a golf course going around here. Smooth, fast, easy. You can ride out here forever, it seems like. But when the guys get out here, when the classes start racing, it gets mean nasty like this. As you can see, a big change between what they saw at the beginning of practice and what they're going to see once the track gets a little worked in. Coming down the mechanics here, you can see the lines forming up. Mind you, this is for any of the main events. The jumps are very deceiving too. And another little twister. Just a little bit of grooming, otherwise it's completely natural. Into another section here. Very fast, they call this the sky jump. The big sky jump, and man, believe me, you get launched off that big time. Down into the bottom. Another famous section, centerpiece. Fourth gear wide open on a 250, maybe fifth on a 125. Then you got a gear down coming up the hill. Past the mechanics area again. Another flat wheel landing. And then you go into what they call the wall. Straight down. On the brakes the whole way. Trying to keep the bike from going on. Then back up. Look at the climb of this.
A very unique ride from Davey Coombs that time as Grant Langston making the move on Larry Ward. Langston now into second place. How's this kid doing it?
I don't know. Plus, you see how rough that section is through the sweeper. The front end almost got away from him there a couple of times, and he's got to muscle his way out of that with his shoulder. And we keep talking about how amazing it is that Langston's out there riding with that injury. I think what's amazing is the fact that this guy, you can see the desire he has. He wants to win this championship. If he doesn't go out there and tough his way through this, he can forget it. He may never have that chance again. So he's riding through the pain right now where a lot of other guys, Raynard, Albertine, a lot of other guys with shoulder injuries cut their season short to go get the surgery.
A guy like Billy Payne back in the main event from Planet Honda. He was out almost a year with injuries. Then he came out in the qualifying. His shoulder popped out. They popped it back in. He qualified. Now he's in the main event. He won the qualifier. Here's the battle between Fonseca now and Brock Sellards. Sellards right at the edge of the track on the right side. Here comes Mike Brown. Boy, that's quite a pack. Brown to the inside, trying to take on Brock Sellards, and he's got Steve Boniface, the Frenchman, right behind him.
I'm anxious to see how Brown handles Fonseca when he gets around. Last week when he passed him, he knocked him down. I don't think Fonseca's going to let that happen again. Boniface is right in there in this battle. He's staying with these guys.
Boniface on the AMSOIL Dr. Martin's Honda, and he's on the inside. He's going to, oh, he gets the door shut on him. But Brown moves out in front of Sellards. What a competitive trio there with all kinds of riders around them.
What you can really feel in a pack like that is the roof. The rocks here starting to come up little by little as the day goes on. You can feel that. Even these 125s throw that. You get behind three guys, you can't even see where you're going. You're getting hit with so many rocks.
I'll never forget the day that Mike Kudrowski had the back of his hand broken with a rock coming up and put him out for the entire season. Danny Smith, number 29 on the Suzuki. He's back to full speed now after recovering from injuries. He's looking to get back into the flow as he made the pass on Boniface. So it's Pastrana, Langston, Ward, Fonseca, and Brown, our top five. We'll be right back with more 125 action. Welcome back to Unadilla. Pastrana at this point has about a 4 to 5 second lead. Langston in second, and Ward still have a battle going on.
You know, it looked like Langston and Pastrana were going to be the guys of this class that were going to run away with it, make it a two-man fight. But Larry Ward, the veteran, has really stepped up and made it interesting up front. He can run the pace now with Pastrana at times and with Langston.
He's on a string of 2 podiums, getting a 2-2 at Budds Creek for a second place overall, and another 2-2, but he got the win at Red Bud. Let's go to Davey in the mechanics area.
Well, Andrew, for a guy visiting Unadilla for the first time, Grant sure looks good.
Yeah, he watched the tapes on television, and he liked the track a lot when he got here and he rode it. He didn't realize how choppy it could get. So he was battling a little bit yesterday and this morning, but I think he's starting to get the lines good.
You know, earlier Langston said, hey, I like those rough tracks, even though if I haven't seen them before. But right now, after the shoulder injury, it's a different story. Here's Ernesto Fonseca trying to get back around Mike Brown. Brown on the inside, Fonseca goes to the outside.
These guys are starting to find each other out there on the racetrack every week, and I think maybe they got a little something to settle with each other. Last week, coming together, I don't think Fonseca's too happy about that. He's in perfect position to repay the favor.
Mike Brown holding on to the edge against Fonseca after they went back and forth. Ernesto not letting him off the hook, though.
Got a good line down the hill. That's what Travis was using.
And off camber, Brown gets a little power. Here comes the 4-stroke power up the hill. Bar to bar we go. And Fonseca retakes the advantage and Mike Brown.
Well, he set him up perfect at the bottom of the hill as a clean pass. It's a good thing he got into that berm early because Brown was about ready to put him over it.
So Fonseca in fourth, Brown in fifth, just go back and forth. They've done everything but rub plastic.
It's the difference in the horsepower, I think, and their riding styles. Brown is much more aggressive, riding a two-stroke. Fonseca riding the four-stroke, more torque, a little bit more careful style.
Close. Fonseca even looks back to see where he is. Coming down that hill at great speed. Brown put the wheel inside, then backed off at the last minute. Here comes Brown. Brown chases Fonseca off the track. A little nudge, and Fonseca was off the track.
Good job by Fonseca to keep the bike upright and in this race, but he can't keep leaving the door open. He left too much room right there for Brown.
What about it, Davey?
Kenny, right in front of the mechanics there, we saw Brown. What was that all about? I don't know, but that Red Buddy did the same thing. So, hey, it's a fight out there, and they're all fighting for what they can get. Do you think Ernesto could get back up to him and maybe retaliate? Well, I hope so. I hope so. He needs to fight back for sure.
Well, that's an understatement. Ernesto definitely needs to fight back. He leaves a little bit too much room, and I can't blame Brown right there. He gets in there for the second week in a row. Gets the pass made. He was a little bit nicer this time. At least Fonseca's still on the bike.
Must be a good feeling for Shea Bentley just to get back on the bike after going through so many injuries. He was the 2000 West Supercross champion.
I just wanted to do some racing and go out there and basically have some fun and learn. This is all. It's been a long time since I did some outdoor stuff, so I'm really excited.
Shea's really had a difficult career. He had a lot of injuries before that Supercross championship. But Mitch Payton giving him an extra opportunity, gave him some incentive clauses in a contract that had him coming back on the track. We'll be right back with more 125 action out of Moto 1 from Unadilla right after these words. Welcome back to Unadilla. Travis Pastrana did have a 12-second lead, but a couple of big bobbles and the stick-to-itiveness of Grant Langston. We've got a close race here with 1 lap to go. The white flag was waving.
I wouldn't want Langston anywhere near me with 1 lap to go. The guy is so fast outdoors. You already know he's riding with injuries and how bad he wants it. I know Travis wants it too, but Travis has been known to make some mistakes. The more pressure you can put on him, the better.
The famous gravity cavity. Langston in not a bad position right now as he picks up on Pastrana in this area of the course. Around the mechanics area and around that tree, Pastrana's got his work cut out for him. Can he hold off? Last year's 125 world champion. The last time a Suzuki has won back-to-back 125 titles was all the way back Mark Barnett, 1980, 81, and 82.
Look at the rear end of Travis skating all over the track. He is pinned. He knows he can't just cruise this last lap or he is in big danger, especially the final corner of this lap before they get the checkered flag. Anything can happen there. If you don't go into that corner with a lead, nothing's guaranteed.
13 motos on the season so far. And Travis Pastrana is looking for his 5th moto win. Can't afford a mistake now. The fans are really into this one. A great crowd at Unadilla. The weather's wonderful with a cloud cover like it is. And Pastrana going all out to win this opening moto.
Now you can't go up that hill any faster than that. You can hear Langston back there trying to close the gap. He has slightly. He's got to stay close here. Try to force Travis to make a little bit of a mistake. He makes a mistake there. They've got this last corner. Langston is close enough to really start to bother Travis. He will have to worry about taking a defensive line here.
Pastrana with a 2nd place overall behind Ward in the last race. Wants to get back on the winning track. Hold that points lead. Here comes Langston to the inside. The checkers are waving. And Pastrana shaking his head saying, thank goodness I edged him out. Pastrana, Langston, Ward in a tremendous opening moto here at Unadilla for the 125s. Ernesto Fonseca ending up in 9th place. Here's the pass that put Pastrana into first place, getting around Ward. You can never take anything for granted, though. Even though he had a 12-second lead, Langston made a race of it. Let's go down to Davey.
Travis, it seems like you make every race more and more interesting.
Man, that's just what I was thinking, you know. Kind of out front cruising, guess I had a brain fade and just went over the bars right in front of one of my friends, Hilton Beatty's out there, who's cheering me on. I was like, man, got up, looked back, Grant was right there, but I had been cruising most of the moto, so I had a little bit more left, but Grant's always challenging all the way to the end, and man, I really want to thank Suzuki. This weekend, we went all out. I mean, those guys have been working the last month harder than anybody in the world. My bike has gone from really good to above and beyond anybody else's, so thanks, guys.
What about this track? It looks like it's gotten rougher and rougher by the lap.
Track is getting super rough. It's really slick. Has some, it's just different. I mean, it's got a lot of rocks. If you get behind, it hurts really bad. I got blood all over my arms and everything, but just looking forward to getting another good start next moto, and I think that's key.
Travis Pastrana now tying Langston for the number of moto wins, 5, but don't forget Langston with the injury missed the Budds Creek race, but he's not letting Travis run away with the points race. Let's go back down to Davey Combs.
Grant, he made a mistake at the end, and you almost had him.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of gave it away myself because I let him get around me early and let him pull away quickly, and he had a comfortable lead, and then, you know, kind of 10 minutes or so to go, I started catching him a little bit, and I thought if I just kept applying the pressure, he might make a mistake. And he just slid out in the one back turn, and I saw him get going just ahead of me. So I gave everything I had those last couple of laps to see if I could catch him and get him, and I got close, but not close enough.
I know this is your first visit to Unadilla. It looks like you're learning the track every time you go out. Can you get Pastrana in the second moto?
Yeah, I think so. If I get up to speed straight away, I think I can, because, you know, towards the end of the race I was going quicker than him, but it takes me a little too long to get into the rhythm. So hopefully the second race I can get that sorted out.
Last question, how's your shoulder?
It's kind of tired and a bit sore now, you know, from all the bumps. It gets tired real easily, but you know, it's not too bad. It's all right.
Good effort.
Thank you.
A tremendous opener for the 125s here at Unadilla. The 250s are at the gate. Ricky Carmichael is looking for his 4th consecutive victory. Guys like David Villeman are going to try to take it away from him. It's all coming up next. It's been a letdown after Ricky Carmichael won his very first 250 Supercross title. But here at the midway point of the outdoor series, I'd like to think it's the other riders dramatically upping the level of competition against the defending champion. Tim Ferry would take the season's opener, while Sebastien Tortelli and Kevin Windham kept Carmichael off the podium for the first time in 28 races. First Moto woes, an 8th at Glen Helen, a 5th at Hangtown, and a 13th at Mount Morris gave RC concerns, dipping as low as 4th in the standings. Tortelli and David Villeman each won their 3rd career victories. For RC, it was only 1 podium in the first 3 races. It was like waking up the sleeping giant, though. Round 4, Ricky would lead all but 4 the 46 laps at Southwick. He converted a 12-point deficit into a 10-point advantage, moving into the points lead. Next, at Budds Creek, it was 2 in a row for RC. Then Redbud, another 1-1 sweep. This time, Tortelli and Carmichael staged one of the most exciting motos of the season. Ricky winning on the last lap when Tortelli's bike malfunctioned. Sebastian in agony after this futile attempt. So we begin the second half of the 250 season here at Unadilla with several riders dedicated to make things tough on the young man who now is tied with the legendary Bob Hanna atop the all-time win list with 37 career motocross victories. There you see it on the Suzuki point standings. Ricky Carmichael atop Kevin Windham, Sebastien Tortelli in 3rd, Ferry in 4th with a very good season underway. Stefan Roncalli, last year's 125 champion, 8th in the points race. The starting grid for Suzuki: Ricky Carmichael, Kevin Windham, Sebastien Tortelli, and Tim Ferry. The top 4 in the points list. Mike LaRocco, who's a big man here at Unadilla. He's won 3 races here. John Dowd on the 4-stroke KTM. Here's 2 privateers against 2 factory guns. Brian Hughes and Ezra Lusk of Team Honda. Kyle Lewis, Moto XXX, and Robbie Raynard on the Yamaha. One significant change, they're starting off the cement block rather than dirt like they did at Redbud, where John Dowd got both hole shots.
Well, last week going back to dirt, I don't think that's much of an adjustment for these guys. They've started in dirt their whole lives. But Every time you go to cement, certain guys get better jumps off that than others. Wheel spin's a big problem, and Hughes has got a pretty good record off the cement. These guys have already finished warming up the rear tire. Now, you would think that would wear out the rear tire, but what good's a fresh tire going to do you if you're in 20th place?
Ricky Carmichael getting set. The board is sideways. We're almost set to go for our first Moto of 250 action from Unadilla. The charge is on for the first turn. Ryan Hughes gets the whole shot. Kevin Windham is right there. Ryan Hughes, number 120. Windham is on the inside on the Suzuki. Windham takes the lead. Ricky Carmichael in third. Tim Ferry in fourth. Windham with a great start. Windham, Hughes, Carmichael. Carmichael bar to bar with Hughes as they come down that huge hill. That's Tim Ferry just coming into the picture in fourth. Rhino securing second on the turn.
Notice that every time Carmichael has passed Ryan Hughes this year, he's not off the hook. Rhino always comes and gets him right back, throws him out of his rhythm. You want to get around that four-stroke as soon as possible. I think the roost coming off of Rhino's bike, besides the fact that he gasses it hard, that bike has got a lot of power, and he's going to pick up some rocks.
Oh, Tortelli went down right before the tree. He's got a lot to make up.
Well, he just picks right up in the last moto at Redbud. Went down his first lap, having to come from last again.
He's had more bad luck this year. Ricky Carmichael into second place on Ryan Hughes. So Ricky in good position now to attack Kevin Windham. Windham's had great starts this year.
Well, it just blows my mind that he's beating these four strokes off the line. You see, it's another good start for Ricky as well, but he's got to work his way into that position. Windham just with excellent throttle control, getting off that cement pad, getting the most out of that 250.
The battle is on with Hughes trying to come back on Ricky Carmichael. Carmichael shuts the door up top. Still three riders looking for the lead. Ricky goes wide on the off camber. Oh, the first stroke of Brian Hughes off the track. He had him beat, David.
It looks like he stalled it. He's going to have to restart that bike and start over. That hill is so steep, there's no way to get back up it. Once you've gone halfway and stopped, you've got to go to the bottom. But he stalled it. He had to restart. I think the AMA will take into consideration the position he was in. Look at this. He's cutting across. He's going to hit this steel pole right here holding the banner up. Watch it swing the back end around. He did a good job to stay on the bike. He stalls it right there. You'll see his right hand over the throttle. He'll reach for that compression release. Make it a little easier to start the bike. He really minimized the time lost right there by thinking ahead, getting that bike fired up quick.
Ricky Carmichael in second. Tim Ferry, number 15 in the Yamaha four-stroke in third. Then it's Larocco, Travis Preston on the MX Culture machine, the Husqvarna, and John Dowd on the KTM.
Good start for Travis Preston here. This guy's had a tough time this first season here in the 250s trying to break it into the top 10. He has once, 10th another time, but what an opportunity here to follow Larocco, the guy that's always coming through the pack. If Preston can learn a little bit there and hitch a ride, could be his best moto of the year.
Larocco winning here at 94 and 95. His last national win was right here at Unadilla in 1999. Here's a good battle between the youngster Preston and the 35-year-old veteran John Dowd. He'll be 36 in August. His first win was back in 1991. He was on a Honda in Sacramento. He started out on the 250s doing very well. Kevin Windham is our leader here in our opening round of 250 action. We'll be right back. As Robbie Raynard and John Dowd are now going at it for fifth place. Dowd to the inside. Robbie Raynard on the Yamaha, number 17, has the advantage on John Dowd. Raynard a privateer on the Yamaha. Let's go down and check with the new development out from Davey. Davey?
Well, great start in that moto for Team Honda. Wins all bad at once on the first lap. All three of the Red Riders fell down. Hughes had the whole shot. He didn't make it a full lap around. Tortelli didn't make it half a track around, and he was joined at the back of the pack by Ezra Lusk. All three Team Honda riders have fallen down.
bad luck for Ezra Lusk, who, after battling a rib and ankle injury, has posted 4 consecutive double-digit finishes. Not the Ezra Lusk that we're used to a few years ago. Here's our leader, number 14, Kevin Windham, getting the challenge now from Ricky Carmichael. Carmichael stepped it up a notch. Ricky last year, he crashed in the first moto, but fought back for a second place before winning the second with a whole shot, leading all 15 laps to the overall victory. Oh, Windham is down. Ricky Carmichael is our new leader. Boy, talk about a break.
Look how fast Ferry sneaks by on the inside. So Ferry has gotten right into this battle. Windham is pretty much out of it. You can see him going down the hill back there, but he just handed it to these guys. He was not out front having to block anybody. He was driving fast enough to win this race.
Oh, and Ferry's starting to put the pressure on Carmichael. His consistency and improvement on that YZ 426F this year has really earned him a new contract with Yamaha. And I think he's the most improved rider out there.
Kevin could feel the heat. Ricky had closed the gap a little bit. He jumped off the top of that hill a little bit farther that time and just maybe hit a bump or a little bit of a slick spot he wasn't used to hitting. You see Ferry slide right by there on the inside while Kevin gets remounted. What a bummer for Kevin, though. He's been riding so well in each of the last 5 motos. This one, I don't see any way he can catch these guys again.
Carmichael out in front, Tim Ferry in second place. It was 2 second-place motos that gave Ferry the first victory on the season at Glen Helen. And of course, it was Tim's first 250 national motocross victory. Whereas Ricky Carmichael is going for his 4th straight this year. There's Tortelli up and running once again.
He has come from so far behind. Look at how he gets a little sideways there. He corrects it, no problem. I'm looking at the riders he's got up ahead of him. He may be able to squeak inside the top 5 before the end of this race. With the pace he has, if he was anywhere near this battle, he'd be able to beat these guys.
Whoa, Ferry to the inside. He's really showing Carmichael something right now. Tortelli, the last I counted, was up and running in 13th when he got up after going down the second time. Ferry going wide on the off camber, loses some time, but look at the power that 4-stroke has on the uphill swing. Ferry is the new leader. Oh my goodness.
You see Carmichael right there ducking. He's getting showered by the roost off Ferry's bike. That's another obstacle out there that you don't really see as a spectator. You can look at the lines they choose and how hard they're trying, but what you don't really feel is that roost. Ricky's got to choose a completely different line. Even if it's not as good, there's no way he can just sit there and take the roost that 4-stroke throws at him.
It'll be interesting to see the development of Tim Ferry now, and the maturity in his riding style on this 4-stroke. It's taken a while to get used to, but he has it under control now. He has not won a 250 moto in his career, even though he got the overall win in Glen Helen. Can he hold off the defending champion Ricky Carmichael? Davey Combs in the mechanics area now is watching all this action trackside. He's with Ferry's mechanic. Davey, what do you got?
Well, Breiners, just like you said, Tim hung back and waited for those guys to make a mistake. Now you got the lead.
Yeah, well, I mean, Carmichael's right there, so I mean, anything can happen at this point. I just hopefully Timmy won't make a mistake. We can hang in front of Carmichael. I think Carmichael might have just been studying Timmy's lines a little bit. Hopefully he can hang it out and get the win.
How do you think Tim likes the track now?
He probably likes it quite a bit.
Well, during practice at Glen Helen, he didn't like that track either. Look what happened there. Tim Ferry in front of Ricky Carmichael. It's exciting the fans here in Unadilla. We'll see how this first moto will end when we return. Welcome back to Unadilla as we focus in number 13 on the Team Honda, Sebastien Tortelli. He had 4 podiums in the first 5 races, including the win at Hangtown. He has had problems early in this race, but as you can see, he's moved all the way back up to 8th, and he's got time for more. He's our subject of our Honda profile. Since coming to Race in America full-time in 1999, the AMA Championship remains Sebastien Tortelli's 7 cities of Cibola, the promised land of gold that has been so close, but remains just out of his reach.
You know, so far not a great cool season. You know, this year I got a bad Supercross season. You know, got hurt and had the first race and couldn't race pretty smooth. Last year I got hurt in outdoors and, you know, kind of compromised the chance to be, you know, fighting, you know, with Ricky to get the championship. So it's, you know, things put together and never went the way I wanted.
Before this season began, Tortelli joined Ricky Carmichael and Tim Ferry, relocating his motocross program to the state of Florida.
It's good because, I mean, you get, you know, good practice. There's a lot of humidity, and, you know, so when you get to the race, you know, like today, it's pretty cool for me. I don't feel any of the heat or nothing. And one of the best reasons also, it's no jet lag. You know, it's make your life more easier and more enjoyable, and you can spend more time and be more focused on your racing.
In addition to his move to the Sunshine State, Sebastien joined a growing trend, bringing along a personal trainer to all the events. That has kept the French rider focused on race day.
Every good riders have somebody next to him to support him and give him, you know, the drive he needs at some time to be stronger and to win championship. And that's what I do with my trainer, Yannick. You know, Yannick Carvela is my trainer, and we work every other day together riding, and, you know, it's important. And, you know, Jeff Spencer gave me a great program, and, you know, my mechanic Shane give 100%, and, you know, sometimes I have my doctor conference come over to help me out. So it's, you know, it's all an effort who hopefully at the end of the year going to pay.
And the moves have paid off, as the two-time world motocross champion has been consistent all season and currently sits third in the standings.
Yeah, consistency is a good thing, but, you know, wins I think are the most important thing. And, you know, I won Sacramento, I won 2 motos. You know, it's good, but right now it's to be focused on racing and winning.
And with that focus, the promised land may finally be within his reach at the end of the 2001 campaign. Just have a feeling one of these years everything's going to click for number 13. As we take a look at Mike LaRocco and Kevin Windham, it is a very good battle for third place. Behind our leaders, Tim Ferry and Ricky Carmichael. Oh, they almost rubbed plastic right there. Number 14, Team Suzuki. Kevin Windham going wide, and LaRocco has the advantage. Look at the speed they're generating on the downhill.
You know, we used to just ease into that gravity cavity and then jump out about half as far as what these guys are doing now every lap. And occasionally, Carmichael will sail up out of there even a little farther than what LaRocco just did. So the talent of the riders, you know, combined with what the bikes can do now, these guys are just going so much faster than what we used to. It's unbelievable.
This year, LaRocco's been his usual consistent self. 3 podiums in 6 races, landing him in the top 5 in points. He's coming off the worst finish of the season, 8th at Redbud, after having a rider land on him and really got a shot right in the back.
Well, this is Windham. He had a good line out of the corner approaching this one. He almost got LaRocco back. He had a good line around the outside right there, but I think he could feel LaRocco on the inside, his front wheel too close to Kevin's foot. He backed up out of that a little bit and gave it away.
So LaRocco is looking for his 4th podium on the track that has to be one of his favorites.
Doesn't lose that much time to Ricky. He does lose it to Kevin, though, and believe it or not, Ferry is pulling away from all of this.
There's Kevin Windham on the Suzuki behind LaRocco. And Tortelli has now moved up to 5th after crashing twice in the early going. What a final lap. Tim Ferry is on his way to winning his first 250 Moto.
It looked like LaRocco caught up, may have caught Ricky sleeping a little bit. Thought, well, I'm not going to catch Ferry, but second's pretty much solid. It wasn't. You can never be sure of anything when you've got LaRocco back there. Ricky was able to respond to that challenge, and he seems to have picked up the pace a little bit, and this whole thing was just spread back out.
It's good to see Windham so strong here in the late going.
It's difficult to recover, especially to this pace after you've fallen. But a nice recovery, and unfortunately, he won't have a very good chance at the overall now if he doesn't get around LaRocco. But a good response by Carmichael, who was passed right here a lap ago.
Ricky Carmichael hoping to put himself in position, at least in 2nd place in this moto, to win the overall and become the winningest AMA national rider in the history of the sport. Here's Tim Ferry. Not only his first Moto win of the year, but his first 250 victory just around the corner. Ferry looks back to check. Whoa, look out. He bounced pretty big as he took his hand off the bars. He controls it. His first Moto win of the year. Carmichael, look at this battle for third. Who got it? LaRocco or Wyndham? Oh my goodness, what a great first 250 Moto with Tim Ferry, Ricky Carmichael, LaRocco, Wyndham, and Tortelli all the way to fifth. Davey.
Well, Tim, you missed a heck of a race for second because congratulations, man, you just won.
Thanks, yeah, it feels real good. I got a pretty good start. That's a good start for me lately. You know, I figured, you know, I should be getting a little better starts, you know, that I had the last couple races, and Yamaha got me out top 5 that time, and I felt strong. My arms are a little bit tight, and I've been kind of disappointed in my results the last couple weeks, and I really wanted to come out here and prove to myself again, because I was starting to doubt myself a little bit, and then, you know, all my fans too.
It looked like you were content for a while there to watch that Wyndham and Carmichael battle. Then tell us about the pass on Ricky for the lead.
Well, I'm kind of I don't remember where I passed them, but I'm really catching these guys, all the two-stroke guys up the hills, and I'm not sure where I passed them, but I followed those guys. I figured there's no sense in passing them because there's no way that I'm 5 seconds a lap faster just to pull away right away. So I figured I'd just follow them, see their lines, and I think I had a little better lines, and I think that was the difference in that moto.
Well, the strategy certainly worked. Good luck in the second moto.
All right, thanks a lot.
Although he took second place, Ricky Carmichael has added to his points lead with Kevin Wyndham ending up behind him. You see there, Carmichael winning the LaRocco battle. Let's go back to Davey.
RC, that was a good battle at the end to get second from LaRocco, but what about Ferry?
Ferry was riding good, you know. I don't know. He's got a lot of confidence, and, you know, it's amazing what somebody can do with a lot of confidence. All I know is I need to pick it up a little bit because what I'm doing is not cutting it, and, you know, what do you say? I got to, definitely got to find something else better to do because, you know, I got to start winning these things.
Tell me about the last lap in the battle with LaRocco.
Oh, he was all over me. You know, those guys were eating me up. My arm got a little pump. My arms got a little pumped, and those guys started eating me up. And I just wanted to stay smooth and get some points, and that's what I did. But I need to pull it out the next moto.
Position for the overall and besting Bob Hanna's victory record. 125's at the gate, getting ready to go. Here's the winner of the first moto, Travis Pastrana, also the points leader. Dave McCullum, his mechanic. And Gary Bailey, his riding coach, just off to the right. We'll be right back with 125 action. The 125's getting ready on the cement starting pad. There's Lamson. As we get set for our second moto, just passing Travis Pastrana, the winner in the opening moto. Travis has been on the podium all but one race. That was at Budds Creek where he took a 4th, but increased his points lead from 8 to 36. He's had everything going his way. There's Langston. We're ready to go. Off and running the second moto. Ramsey a good start. The whole shot went to Schnell, number 30. There he is on the Yamaha. Ramsey, Pastrana, and Keith Johnson all with good starts. That's Ramsey in second place. He's in a sprint with the leader, Schnell. The real battle is 4th through 7th right now. And we got a slug of riders that are battling it out. Number 111 is Grant Langston. Here he goes, making the pass on Danny Smith. You know, David, everybody likes a great start, but I think Grant Langston likes about a 3rd or 4th place start at the beginning.
Well, that's just a display of confidence, really. He knows that he's going to be able to work his way through those guys and eventually get to the leader. It's not going to be as easy with Travis pulling away out front.
Scott Sheik, Langston, Danny Smith in that order as we saw him curl around that tree.
Oh, Langston dancing around over there next to the fence. The track is starting to get rough. This moto, first moto, it just looked like practice. Wasn't really much of a challenge for these guys at all. It was all horsepower. Now you got to think a little bit more, pick better lines. A few poles out there that can grab you.
There's Mike Brown, number 100 at the end of that train. And you know he's going to work his way up.
See, that corner was just nothing to it the first moto. This time it's a deeper rut. Got both those guys make a little mistake through there that time. Brown landed a little bit too far over that berm. You can already see what I'm saying there. The line, you have to be much more specific this time.
A real test of the suspensions of these bikes.
See, I remember Mike Brown talking about Langston and saying Langston was never a problem. Whenever his bike was running solid in Europe last year, he beat him every time. Well, now he's got a chance to follow Langston up through the pack. So far, Langston's getting away from him.
Brownie with 5 wins in the GP circuit last year in 125s. Grant Langston won the world title. Brownie was 3rd in the points. Langston now working against Honda's Scott Sheik. Sheik to the inside, Langston on the outside there. Whoa, hang on, Scotty Sheik. Oh, they rub a little plastic. Davey.
Down here in the pit area, guys, we have 2 early casualties. Team Suzuki rider Ben Riddle pulled out, can't tell what's wrong. Also, KTM Red Bull's Kelly Smith pulled out, apparently fried his clutch at the halfway mark.
A tough luck for one Suzuki rider anyway, with one out in front, Travis Pastrana. He's starting to pull away as well. There's Mike Brown, number 100, working his way up through the pack. And Team Suzuki's Danny Smith behind him.
Well, you would expect Brown and Langston to be pretty much together climbing through this pack. Langston going by already. Look at the speed he carries off that jump. He's working his way up a little bit faster than Brown.
He gets by Schnell. And Langston is gunning for the podium spot.
That would mess you up if you're Schnell and your tearaway is floating around right in front of you. Look at the speed Brown carries into that hill. Going all the way to the outside. He's got some idea how to get around Sheik.
And Mike Brown cuts in front of him, going down the hill. He gets the spot. Here's Grant Langston, 111. Langston winning the first 2 races of the year. Looked like he was going to dominate the points race, but Pastrana came back. And now it looks like Pastrana has got the stronghold, but these guys just aren't giving up. Grant Langston, for one, is just not willing to hand over a title to anyone.
It's unbelievable that Langston has been able to stay this close to Travis in the points, the overall championship. If anything goes wrong with Travis, Langston's right back in this, and so is Brown. Brown is not very far out of this in terms of the championship points race, and he's had a couple of DNFs that really set him back.
Brandis, a very strong race for him right now. His best moto was an 11th place finish. The first moto in the 2nd race of the year.
Well, I can't put my finger exactly what's going wrong with Brandis in terms of trying to get a whole moto put together. The guy's fast. You're seeing that right here. You know, we're far enough into this race that if he wasn't that great of a rider, these guys would have been past him and long gone by now. It's just a matter of Brandis running up front, getting comfortable with it, have a little bit of luck, and probably believing in himself a little bit more. It seems like as soon as he has a little bit of a problem, he's a little bit too quick to give up.
And staying away from those nagging injuries that have plagued him throughout his entire career. Langston now in pursuit of Michael Brandis for 3rd.
Well, I know Langston doesn't really like these 4 strokes. We talked about that after the first race of the season. Here he is surrounded by him again. These guys make completely different power, different places on the racetrack. You really got to think, figure out your way by. There's one way, just hold it wide open.
Made it look easy, and it's not. Grant Langston moving into 3rd. He's got Ramsey in 2nd place. Another 4-stroke. Look at that train. Brown is right in the middle. Schnell, Brown, Sheik. And Brownie takes a huge leap off the jump.
Same thing he did to Sheik the lap before. He goes to the outside of the big uphill, crosses over to the inside, and all that momentum takes him right in there for the block pass.
So it's Pastrana way out in front looking for his 2nd moto win here today. There haven't been that many nationals here at this very famous Unadilla track, but we've seen a lot of international competitions. This week's Suzuki Flashback concentrates on one. We look at the only motocross the nations held in America. The year 1987. Despite the rain and inclement weather, the fans were treated to some of the most memorable racing ever. Ricky Johnson's workmanlike performance set the stage, and who can forget Jeff Ward chugging up the hill for Team USA. But the crowd favorite had to be Suzuki's Hurricane Bob Hanna. Deemed an unworthy choice by some, Bob got back in a 125 one last time for Team USA, and against 250s and 500s, rode through the pack to steal the show for America. Great win for Bob Hanna and the United States of America. This year, of course, Motocross the Nations will be held in Belgium, and the team's already been announced. Ryan Hughes, Travis Pastrana, and Ricky Carmichael once again to try and repeat.
Look at the 3-4 strokes, side by side, going crazy. The lines. That's what's great about this Unadilla track. Even though it's a little smoother this year than I've seen it in past, these guys have gone back and forth because there's so many choices out there.
Larry Ward, Brandis, and Schnell. Oh, Ward goes down hard. He clipped that inside barrier.
Looked like he was trying to get past his teammate. That didn't really work out. Too bad there were teammates going through there. I don't think Brandis meant to put Larry down, but he in fact did.
Number 20 is Damon Huffman, and there's Larry Ward back up on the bike, but he is hurting. He had a sore thumb coming into the race from 2 races ago.
Watch this, Ward to the left there in the red. His teammate Brandis just trying to get into the best line. You may have thought that was Schnell back there, not Larry. It looked like he did cut over at the last second. Larry had nowhere to go, high-sided, and that's where his problems began with the thumb.
Here's Ramsey in second now, getting pressure from Grant Langston. Langston wanting to pick off that number 2 spot for the second straight moto. And Brown is right behind Langston. Look out.
Yeah, it looked like for a while Langston was getting his way through the pack and pulling away from Brown. Brown has closed the gap back up. I know Langston can feel that. These guys are in a battle for second place in the points.
Forget the lead, Pastrana is just gone. And here comes Langston down the hill together with Ramsey. He takes that off camber as well as anybody I've ever seen.
Well, it's beautiful as he comes down the hill as fast as everyone else, even as fast as Travis, but he still gets into that inside rut somehow.
Let's check into the new developments down track side with Davey Combs. Davey?
After a sudden rash of crashes, we've seen Larry Ward pull up the side of the track. And guys, look down here in the pit area. Danny Smith, the Team Suzuki, out of the race. You see his mechanic, Billy Phelps, talking to him. He's holding his right hand. Maybe a rock, maybe he stubbed it. We'll have to check and see. And right there's Dr. John Bonner. Check on him.
Matt Walker, the young rider out of Georgia, also going down hard away from our cameras. As we see, the battle is on for third place now. It's Mike Brown. Mike Brown against Nathan Ramsey with Grant Langston just a little bit further in the picture.
I can't tell who those guys are cheering for in that corner. They cheer everybody on that comes through there.
Bunch of great fans here in upstate New York, and a record number of riders who tried to qualify for today's action. Man, something like 290 riders. Took 12 qualifying rounds just to sort things out before the regular qualifying. The battle is on, and Brown goes off the track. He went off the track to get Ramsey.
Well, Ramsey might let that slide. If that was Fonseca, I'm marching straight over to the AMA truck going, hey, you cut the track.
So Mike Brown moves into third. Pastrana and Langston, first and second. We'll be right back as this race winds down. Travis Pastrana on the final white flag lap is trying to extend his points lead even more. After winning the first moto, he has just simply dominated the second moto.
He's standing up all the way through those sweepers, letting the bike flow underneath him. It's the scary part, too, is when you have a big lead like this and you have one lap to go. You tend to ride a little bit different. Some guys hit holes they don't normally hit. But Travis is way past that.
He's looking for his 6th moto win, and it looks like he's on his way to his 3rd overall victory of the season. By winning the first moto, gaining 3 points on Langston, that gave him a 47-point lead in the points race. He could be 50 points ahead. That's the equivalent of 2 full motos. once he takes the checkered flag.
Nice cushion to have. You know, you got to look at the effort that Langston's putting in and admire that, but 50 points is pretty tough to make up. Travis was heroic last year coming back from 40. I don't know, Langston's an awesome rider, but coming back from 50 is a little bit too much.
Yeah, Travis said he had written himself off, but all he was trying to do was extend the season till the final race and not let Roncada get that 50-point lead. Oh, Pastrana went down hard. Can he get back up in time? That's not the new leader. There's the new leader. Langston on the last lap. A little bit deja vu from Supercross time.
That was
Langston in Houston, leading all the way, crashed, handing the win over to another rider. Well, Pastrana right now not only has lost this moto, but the overall to Langston. Travis.
Yeah, that looks scary, Art. He hit his head. He hit his head hard. It didn't look, I mean, it was just a last minute. As soon as he touched the ground, the front wheel twitched and bam, he hit his head hard. He's going to get no points. He'll get whatever he lapped up to, if that's going to put him in the points this moto. That changes everything.
Boy, does it ever. It cuts Pastrana's lead if Langston continues on in half. Coming into the race with a 44-point lead, I think it would be about 22. And there's the checkered flag for a very lucky Grant Langston. You got to hand it to him, though. He worked hard to be at the right place at the right time and take advantage of the opportunity. Langston, Mike Brown moves into second. Ramsey third. Scott Cheek, his third, fourth place finish on the season. Let's go down to Davey.
Grant, this has been a series of hit or miss for everyone, and it seems like Travis Pastrana just made his first mistake.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. I saw Travis go down. I heard he went down pretty hard, and I mean, that's racing. I mean, like, I had the shoulder injury, and it put me out for a while, and you know, just this, I mean, he was on his last lap, probably thinking he's got the race won, and all of a sudden the track just bit him, you know, and you know, it's unfortunate, you know, because he beat me fair and square today, and you know, obviously I'm happy to have won. You know, I kept the pressure on both motos, and both motos he made mistakes, and you know, that's why I pushed all the way to the end, and I think, you know, pushing to the end did help, but it's just unfortunate for him.
They say that Unadilla is basically the capital of American motocross. How do you feel to come in here and get a win on your very first visit?
Oh, it's great, you know. Anytime you can win is fantastic, and you know, to win at such a famous track, at least when I retire one day, I can say I won at Unadilla.
Langston now with 3 wins on the season, and the crowd is giving a well-deserved cheer to Travis Pastrana, who had about only a half lap to go before sweeping both motos here at Unadilla. I'm going to hand it to him. Get up and ride like this, getting the cheers of the fans. He'll finish about mid-pack. That's how big a lead he had. But no points.
Watch how hard he hits his head. The front wheel just tucks as soon as he lands. The bike doesn't continue at all. He goes right over the front. You'll see it a lot better from this angle.
Ouch.
That impact right there just left him dingy. The bike was running on the throttle side wide open, and he didn't have the ability to get up, go over there and shut it off. But he does cross the finish line, and there's Grant. You'd love to see that kind of respect. These guys no doubt have a rivalry, but that's respect.
That's the sportsmanship of motocross, no question. I'm not so sure, though, that Travis really knows where he is right now. He came back on the track, of course, but likely a concussion. Grant Langston, Mike Brown, and Damon Huffman will be on the podium here at Unadilla for the 125s. And in the points, Langston cuts Pastrana's lead to 22 now. Unlike the 500 and 250 titles, the 125 crown has never been won by a non-American. That could be interesting. Maybe Grant Langston can pull it off. The 250s at the line. There you see Ryan Hughes of Team Honda, and the points leader, Ricky Carmichael, taking a second place in that first moto. He'd like to come back with a win. Coming up next. The fans are hurrying back to their viewing spots now as the 250 is at the line, ready for the second moto. And Ricky Carmichael, well, history's in front of him, but he might be in those books as the all-time AMA U.S. National Motocross win leader. If he wins today, it'll be 38 wins, surpassing the legendary Bob Hanna's mark, which was posted in August 11th, 1985. That was Hanna's last win at Millville. Let's go down to the gate.
Standing on start for the second 250 moto once again. Carmichael, this is his shot in history. Beside him is Sebastien Tortelli, number 13, his main rival. I gotta tell you, it seems like Carmichael's got other things on his mind. You can almost feel the tension between he and the Kawasaki people. It seems that the rumors about next year and Carmichael going to Honda are starting to affect his performance right now.
Carmichael second in the first moto, but he's looking for his 4th straight overall. 32nd board is up. When it goes sideways, 5 to 10 seconds, the gate will drop and we'll be underway, answering all our questions. There's Tortelli, number 13, alongside Carmichael to his right, and they're off and running. Not a bad start for Carmichael. It's Ryan Hughes once again, and Carmichael is right there. Number 120, Honda 4-stroke, Ryan Hughes, his 2nd straight hole shot, but Carmichael quickly moves into 2nd place. Kevin Windham once again, another good start for Kevin in 3rd. To the inside, Carmichael wants to take Hughes early and get out in front on this rocky track. Looked like they might have rubbed just a little bit. Florida bar down the gravity cavity, and up we go. Ricky Carmichael looking to cut underneath Ryan Hughes. Does he have the acceleration? At that short distance, yes. Carmichael into the lead. Here comes Windham to challenge Hughes.
Now look at the throttle side of Carmichael. He's missing that handguard. It's gone off the right side. He may have made contact with Hughes, but on his left side. So I'm puzzled as to why the right one's gone now. He started with both of them.
A great freight train. It looks competitive. Here comes Hughes. He wants another piece. Carmichael's not having an easy getaway.
I think Carmichael's strategy is that if he just can put in about 4 solid laps, he should be able to dust the guys that haven't been able to hang with him throughout the series. And look at Ryan Hughes do a little dancing around here before he drops off. Nice correction, and Ricky as well, so they don't touch. This stake right here may have cost the handguard. Yeah, there it falls loose. Falls off the bike right there onto the ground. That's where he lost it, trying to get around Hughes. He did give him a little bit of room, but he made sure he used the whole track to get that pass made.
Windham now tries to cut on the off camber on Hughes. Hughes, though, with that 4-stroke power up the hill. Oh, this is a great battle here.
Guys down here in the pit area, I was lucky enough to run into Fox Racing, Scott Taylor. He told me that not only the controversy about Honda's what's bothering Ricky today, he is not feeling well. He's been nauseous to his stomach all day. He decided to ride this second moto without a kidney bone. So watch late in the moto, Carmichael might get tired. He's got a stomach problem.
Stomach problem or not, he's out in front. And the battles for a second as Windham gets in front of Hughes. Kevin Windham, number 14.
This is probably the worst track in the world to have a stomach problem. Every corner is just filled with choppy holes. The year I won a Grand Prix here, I had a stomach problem between motos, and it just about took me out of the win the second moto. So I know what Ricky's going through right now, and as long as Kevin is riding this well, and Tortelli's that close to the front, Ricky will have a tough one.
Whoa, LaRocco ran into the back of someone. Yes, that's John Dowd picking up his KTM.
Well, that'll teach you. He just didn't get to that corner quite fast enough. LaRocco and those guys got in there hot. Luckily, LaRocco kept it up on 2 wheels. But that's a really tough spot for Dowd to try to get going again. I think he stalled the motor, too.
We've got a challenge for the lead. Kevin Windham is knocking on the door of Ricky Carmichael.
And Ferry is right there. He rode up through everybody in the first moto. He's in good position this time.
Hughes, Tortelli, Ferry. Ferry in good position for that overall should something happen to Ricky Carmichael, no question about it. Tortelli's running smooth.
Well, Well, he was the fastest man on the track the first moto. He was faster lap time wise than Ferry, who just rode through everybody out front. Look at that way he just gets down that hill. Wasn't able to hold the bottom, but...
Whoa, the two-stroke versus four-stroke for Honda. And Tortelli moves back out in front of Hughes.
I think that just shows you how fast and how strong Tortelli is right now. Hughes is aggressive and tough, and on that 450, and Tortelli still figured out a way by.
All kinds of action left. Don't pencil in RC in the record books yet. Back at Unadilla Valley Sports Park. The final moto for the 250s. After Grant Langston upset Travis Pastrana in the 125s, can anyone upset Ricky Carmichael here in the 250s? He's got the lead. There he is. Kevin Windham's behind him.
Well, Windham can upset it. Ferry can upset it. Tortelli can upset it. Hughes is there in case any of these guys is just a little bit off. I don't think he's quite up to the pace of these guys when they're riding at their best, but he's getting closer.
There's Ferry. Hughes right behind him. Look at that area. It looks like a washboard.
It's rough. That's right where Travis went down. Look at the Rocco just jumps all the way down into that pit. That's a G-force in the bottom when you don't jump through it. Ricky out front, just throwing the bike sideways over that big plateau, trying to pull away, and it's not happening.
Despite his success here, Ricky Carmichael says this is not his favorite track. There's Chad Watts, his mechanic, with the usual concern on his forehead.
You hear the throttle right there? He's not even on the ground yet. He's already wide open, so as soon as that wheel touches, it just shoots him forward, and he picks up another 1/8 of a second over these guys.
Tortelli's picking up on Windham now for second place. And Ferry's right behind him. Well, we've seen some outstanding racing here at Unadilla this year.
I think what Ricky's going to have to do here is just maybe get in a little bit different frame of mind. He's got a pretty good points lead. Now what he has to realize is that these guys are all close. The pace is fast. He was a little bit fortunate at the last race at Red Bud to be able to pick off the win when Windham and Tortelli were clearly up to speed with him. Just be more patient now. Not worry about trying to win all these motos. I sensed after that first moto getting second that he's real frustrated going, man, I'm not going fast enough. But I think what's happening is everybody else has gone up to his speed, and now he's going to have to ride smart from here to the end and still grab this championship.
Windham after a fourth in the first moto, looking very strong in second place, with Tortelli right behind him. Notice Jean-Sebastien is back in the 250 American ranks. The Canadian National Series taking a break, and the Blackfoot Honda team participating here at Unadilla. Oh, we got some pressure right now. Tortelli, he wants a piece of Windham. Tortelli goes to the outside, Windham on the inside. Right together, can Tortelli hold it around the corner? Great speed by Tortelli.
I'm seeing something in Windham right now, and it's just not quite as aggressive. He's riding, his legs are straight, he's leaned way up over the front of the bike. Maybe even a little bit too far. I don't know that he's necessarily in the best gear. Tortelli trying to make some adjustments there midair. Tortelli's over the front of the bike, but he's also crouched a little bit. He's in a much more aggressive position where he can actually be full on the throttle. Kevin, it looks like he's in one of those positions where he might start to be getting a little bit tired here and try to preserve some arm pump. Doesn't look comfortable to me.
Ferry up the hill for third. So Windham back in the position he finished in the first moto in fourth, and he still has Hughes behind him and climbing.
You can feel that and hear it. This is a great track for Hughes. He's won here twice on a 125. I'm sure he couldn't wait to get back here and do a track where he had some success. Roncada getting swirly. That's going to drop him pretty far behind the battle he was staying with out front.
Roncada winning here last year. Hughes won it in 94 and 95. Boy, he had a lot of success on that 125 Kawasaki at that time.
Look at the difference in lines. Hughes going to clear up on the grass to the inside. Now the track is getting rougher. I talked about the second 125 moto getting rougher. Now it's as rough as it's going to get. The guys that are a little bit tougher that can get through that, they have the bike set up well, or the guys that really figure out the best lines, miss those holes, like Hughes just did right there. He made a straightaway out of that big sweeper.
Kevin won this race on a 125 back in '97.
Yeah, the lines right now are working for Ryan Hughes. He's able to watch what Kevin was doing, counter that a little bit. And you'll see that he's carrying his speed out wide a little bit more, all the way to the outside around that big sweeper. That bike's like riding a 500, so you got to keep the momentum up.
Hughes making progress to fourth, but Ricky Carmichael's still our leader. Ricky Carmichael looking to become the winningest AMA motocross rider in the sport's history, number 4 here at Unadilla. He took second in the first moto. He's out in front here in the second moto. Trouble in the pits. Let's go down to Davey Combs. Davey?
Guys, check it out. Tim Ferry just pulled in. You can see the whole caliper of his front brake fall off. We're getting ready to talk to his mechanic, Brian Barry. Check out down at the bottom of the bike. The caliper fell off. Looks like he's got a broken brake. The whole thing's fallen off. They're going to try and clip. Actually, they're going to try and take the adjuster off, drop the brake off from the front.
Brian doing a good job there. He's spinning that T-handle as fast as he can. Not fast enough for Tim, who's watching the overall slip away, but that's when you just want to reach for a pair of wire cutters, snip that all away, and get him going again.
What a great break for Ricky Carmichael, who's got Tortelli on his backside. But it was Ferry he had to beat, really, for this overall.
Tortelli's 5th place in the first moto. Isn't really going to do much damage here in terms of the overall, but what a ride from last place. Remember, he went down and came all the way to 5th. He's faster than Ricky. Ricky knows it, but he doesn't want to give it to him yet.
Here's Tortelli making the pass on Carmichael. Now, Ricky knows that this doesn't mean the overall. And he can keep that string alive, but being the competitive Ricky Carmichael we're used to, here he comes back again. Ricky Carmichael takes the lead back. Oh, Tortelli, he'll work him on this side.
I'm still a little lost for words at the way he flew out of the gravity cavity. He flew out of there completely sideways. Let's set it up for the pass, though. And Tortelli isn't giving up. These guys, they both want to win this moto like it's the last moto of the year, and everything depends on it.
Tortelli might not be in line for the championship, but by golly, he wants to win this moto. He wants to make his mark before the end of the season. Back and forth we go. Tortelli currently in the lead.
Yeah, it looks like somebody forgot to tell Ricky that this doesn't really matter for the overall. Look at the way he's charging. Through all the holes, soaking up that roost.
Well, Ricky doesn't want to win an overall with a 2-2. That's just his spirit.
Well, watch this. He drops into the gravity cavity. He sees that Tortelli's going left, so Ricky thinks, okay, I'll just whip it. And I mean, that's an understatement. Come out of there onto the inside. Catch Tortelli by surprise a little bit, and it worked perfect for the pass, but now Sebastien's ahead of him again.
Ricky Carmichael, in his pro career, has never won an overall without winning a moto. That includes 25 125 wins. Here comes Carmichael once again. Oh, the fans are loving this one.
That just looked like he just took a huge risk to me. Just wide open through all those braking bumps, standing up, right across the front, the line that Tortelli had.
Being careful not to rub, Tortelli regains the lead. That's what Carmichael doesn't want, is to go down and see the overall slip away.
Well, he's fooling me a little bit on that because he's taking big risks. Look how hard he's charging through some of these sections. And he is not just running his regular pace. Tortelli came up, he's going faster, and Ricky has said, okay, well, I want to win this moto bad enough that I'm willing to take a few chances and hit a few holes that I was missing before. His bike danced around a little bit because of it, but he's just so strong. That's what he did in the Supercross all year. He'd get so close to going down and just muscle his way through it.
Tortelli already with about a 2-second lead.
Watch this right here. Watch Ricky come across the inside. It's super rough. That's where guys are letting off. He powers through that. Tortelli's going, where did that come from? But he still was able to get right back under power, get back down the inside of that straightaway for another pass.
But Tortelli now has a substantial lead on Ricky Carmichael. Anything can happen, as we saw in the 125, so hang on to your seat. We'll be right back with more 250 action. Back in Unadilla, a great race for the lead. Tortelli and Ricky Carmichael in our second 250 moto. There you see it, Tortelli, Carmichael, Hughes. Now in third. Ryan's doing a good job as number 13, Sebastien Tortelli, looking for the lead. Mike LaRocco. Looked like he went down hard. David, looked at the way he's walking. He's had back problems all year long, but it really got popped the last in Redbud.
Yeah, it looks like he's holding it a little bit, wobbling. Hard to say what went wrong there, but it's got to be bad for LaRocco to take that long to get going.
Here's Ryan Hughes, number 120. He's looking for one of his better moto finishes.
Well, Unadilla's the place.
Carmichael down. Will he lose a position?
He lost some more plastic.
And he lost a lot of time to the leader, Sebastien Tortelli.
Look at him, just right back to his flow. I don't know if you can call that a flow, but right back to fast, I should say, and he'll hold on to second.
Saw Chad Watts' mechanic walking away. Let's go to Davey.
Guys, you can still see the charge of Ricky Carmichael. You know he wants to win this race. He's fallen. We already know he's not feeling well. Listen to this. He doesn't even need it for the overall. With Tim Ferry already out, all Carmichael needs is second to win. And check it out. Mike LaRocco has dropped out too. He stalled his bike on top of the hill. Couldn't get it started. LaRocco way back in the pack.
But Honda's Ryan Hughes has done a great job here today. After a second place overall at Redbud, which pretty much secured him the spot on the Motocross the Nations team once again this year.
You know, I think that's a good choice too. I think they were looking at Ferry. Wyndham's been doing well this year also. I don't know that Kevin really wanted to go. And Ferry would be an okay pick, especially the way the season started. But if you look at he and Ryan, they're pretty much doing the same thing. Ferry's a little bit stronger here and there, but experience Ryan has in Europe. And the fact that Ferry's had a lot more time to get used to that YZ426 than Ryan has this 450. And I think when the race rolls around, Motocross the Nations, Ryan will be ready.
Yeah, he knows the tracks, participating in Europe for a couple of seasons, and did a great job last year. Travis Pastrana told me that, hey, Ryan Hughes became my hero at the Motocross the Nations last year, the way he performed. Here's Kevin Wyndham, number 14.
He looks like he's got a little bit more momentum going than Ryan does right now. So he's starting to close the gap a little bit. It looked like Kevin just went through a spot there where he had all that pressure. He just couldn't recover. I've seen that happen to him a few times this year, but it seems like he's gotten a little bit more comfortable now. He's going faster than Ryan, just a little bit faster than Ryan everywhere around the racetrack, and he's just inching up slowly. I guarantee you Ryan knows that. When he tries to pick up the pace, that's what will tell the story, whether he can do it or not without making mistakes.
So the battle for third is on, with Tortelli in the lead and Carmichael still holding on to second place despite going down. And there's Ezra Lusk.
Look at his handlebar.
More misery. 16th in the first moto.
He's checking his right hand to see if that feels okay. And look at the right side of the handlebar. It's bent completely down. There's no way he can finish in the top 20 this moto. He's bent the subframe, it looks like. Man, they got a dark cloud following that Honda rig around. I don't know. The Honda guys have had a bad day of it. Ryan's doing okay this moto. Of course, Tortelli is, but how about that crash in the first moto? Put him to last.
Ryan Hughes the most consistent now, with Wyndham knocking on his back door.
Here they come to the slowest part of the track, one of the trickiest. Probably the only place in the racetrack where they actually pull the clutch in going into the corner just to make sure they don't stall the engine. They come in with so much speed and they come to a stop. And they feather the clutch back out as they move to the off-camber. It's also where they get a signal from their mechanics if they can look at all that at the same time.
David McVilleman has moved up to fifth, as we see in our summary, as Kevin Wyndham. Back and forth we go with Ryan Hughes. It's Wyndham now taking over third.
Look how far forward Wyndham gets over the bike. If you take a picture of that or tape this show and go back and stop that, looks like he's going over the handlebar.
Right at the edge of the track, Kevin Windham in third, but it's Tortelli in the lead and Carmichael in position to get the overall in second. Back in Unadilla, a great race for the lead. Tortelli and Ricky Carmichael in our second 250 moto. There's Sebastien Tortelli is on the way to a win, but after the 125 second moto, we don't take anything for granted, with Pastrana losing that 125 moto with 1.5 lap to go.
Especially with the way that the last round went. Tortelli looked like he had it in the bag. Hit a rock going up that hill and almost went over the bars.
Tortelli, our leader. Ricky Carmichael in second would win the overall without winning either moto. LaRocco in 95 with 2-2. And 96, Greg Albertine. Unadilla with a second place in both motos. And of course, Emmy broke that trend in 97 with the only sweep.
Well, that was Jeff Emmig's year. Everything went right. He even beat McGrath in the Supercross Championship.
Tortelli with a 1 and 2 last year here, giving way for the overall to Carmichael's 2-1. They both scored the same number of points in the two motos, but of course the winner of the last moto takes the overall trophy in that case. Well-earned victory for Sebastien Tortelli, taking the checkered flag. And Carmichael, with a second place, wins the overall title and surpasses Bob Hanna's mark of 37 wins in AMA US National Motocross history. Tortelli, Carmichael, and Windham in our final moto, with Ryan Hughes finishing in fourth. Davey Combs?
Well, Sebastien, if you only hadn't wrecked in that first moto.
Yeah, you know, I was feeling good out there. You know, my bike is working great. You know, my mechanic did a good job. All the team did great. So it's, you know, it's amazing. You know, I feel very good out there. But, you know, I was kind of in a hurry the first couple laps and kind of wanted to make my way through the slow rider, and I crashed. So that was unfortunately, but, you know, I just feel good, and, you know, I'm happy to race and be on the front.
Even though the overall results don't show it right now, the last two times you've gone head-to-head with Ricky, you've beat him, well, almost at Redbud. You got to feel good about the way you're riding.
Yeah, I mean, I feel great right now. You know, my trainer, Jeff Spencer, you know, is working great with me. My coach, Yannick Kervala, is doing a great job. You know, everybody around me, you know, helped me out a lot and pushed me forward, and that's what's important. I mean, I just feel great, and everything is going great in my life.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Ricky Carmichael has now won 4 in a row. He becomes only the second rider in history of AMA US National Motocross history to win at least 4 events in a row 2 consecutive years. Hanna and Howerton, the others. Davey?
RC for the second week in a row. It wasn't pretty, but it's yours. It's a win.
Yeah, I got the overall, and that was the important thing. Sebastien and Kevin ride really good at Redbud and these tracks and everywhere, but I think they're one up on me on these 2 tracks. And definitely looking forward to going to Ohio next weekend, where the dirt's really good and more Supercross, so looking forward to it.
During that second moto battle, Sebastien, what happened when you fell?
Actually, it's a big old hole in the rut, and I hit it and kicked my bike up, and that was the end of it.
I know you like to win every moto, and you didn't get one today, but hey, you got a place in the history books again. 38 wins, you broke Bob Hanna's record. You did right here at Unadilla, most famous motocross track in America.
Got to thank Kawasaki for giving me a great opportunity to accomplish these in Pro Circuit. It feels good to do that, and, you know, just out there trying to have fun and win races.
Congratulations, Ricky.
Thanks.
It was March 2nd, 1997. The Ricky Carmichael won his very first national motocross at Gainesville, Florida, in his old home state. Looks a little strange with number 70 on the plate. Carmichael thus becoming the winningest AMA National Motocross rider, surpassing Hanna's record. He also ties Jeff Ward with his 13th 250 motocross victory. Ties him on the Kawasaki list. Meanwhile, all along, pushing up the points advantage after round 7. In the 125s, seeing the points leader Travis Pastrana hit the deck this hard, one wonders if he can hold off the advances of Grant Langston and Michael Brown for the title.
Not much has gone normal in Travis Pastrana's career. Every title he's ever been in contention for has come down to the final round. I think he's right where he belongs.
On the other hand, Ricky Carmichael is right on track for his second consecutive 250 title. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs, thanking you for being with us from the historic Unadilla track. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.